Well, here we are, hopefully, for another Friday night 9 ball. Well, there's a good thing and a bad thing about this. The clocks went back last week, so the tournament's now starting at 7 p.m., and that means I can get an extra hour streaming in before I go to bed. The bad side of it is that it takes a while for people to catch on with the fact that the clocks have changed and the tournaments haven't changed. The tournaments now start an hour earlier, but last week was a perfect example of that. I think there was no more than about 5 or 6 in the tournament. This week's a bit better, so let's have a look. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 10 in, and well, hopefully we can get a few matches in before we have to go to beddy buys. Now, the usual checks. I'm going to check my little doodle. It's still working. And the other thing, of course, to check is, which always helps, is if there's anybody happens to be watching, please type something in the chat. That way I know the chat is working on my screen and I don't have to use my second monitor. I can see what you're saying on the screen, and so can others if you're watching on Twitch or if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're not watching at all, don't type anything. Right, so we are just a minute or so away from blast off. We have another big tournament coming up, which has been advertised in the lobby, and it's the World Straight Pool Championships coming up. And I think that's, well, that tells you there, it's November the 30th, so it's the end of the month, and it will probably run through Christmas as well. I would think the length of time these tournaments take to go through. It's a non-real-time tournament, so players have to arrange their matches, etc, etc, and hopefully I'll be able to stream 1 or 2 of them. And we can get into a wee bit more detail on what straight pool's all about. It sounds simple, pot and balls, but it's not quite as simple as it sounds. There is a definite strategy to it, and you would expect to see the usual thing, the higher quality players using that sort of strategy to get longer runs when they're at the table. So anyway, enough of that. The brackets are up. Nobody's watching the stream. If they are, then if you're chatting, I can't see it, so it means I have to check that my chat URL is working okay. Well, it looks like it. It's there, and it is working because it's now up on my screen. I've tested it, so it's definitely there, and it's saying ready and waiting for messages, so I know that's working. So the brackets are drawn. Let's have a look at the bracket and we will see what's happening. We've got Stevo UK against Daily Hustle. Daily Hustle's getting a 7 ball in the first round. Larry's got a bye, Hoon's got a bye, DJ Simon's got a bye, but he will now play Hoon in round 2. Monte Cristo is playing semi-pro. Monte Cristo's getting 7 and out. That actually might be quite an interesting match. I think that's the one we'll get in because you know, we've seen semi-pro is more than capable, but Monte Cristo must have a reasonable enough rating. He's only getting a 7 and out. Simanx has got a bye, and we've got another second round match. Tommy the Welder and Christian 1972, they're playing, and he's getting, I think that is 7 and out as well. Can barely see it, and that's me staring right in at the monitor. Anyway, so we've got a couple of first round matches, and we've got some second round matches going, but the match we're going to watch is going to be this one with Monte Cristo and semi-pro. And good evening to whoever's watching. Good evening, Bedhead. So this match is already underway. as I said, yeah, it is. Monte Cristo is player 1, and he's getting 7 and out. Semi-pro, stunning that 2 ball, had to hit it to get the cue ball back across for the 3 ball, and we've seen it 100 times. As soon as you hit them with power into the jaws of these pockets, they ain't going in. They're going to stay out. Now the question is here whether Monte Cristo has enough skill and nous, as they say, to actually benefit from this 7 and out. Well, he's not going to benefit playing that shot because Semi-Pro can just barely squeeze the 3 ball in. I think that goes. Oh yeah, it looks even wider from this angle, but still a tight pot to go in. Now this could go wrong if he brings the cue ball up the left hand side and hooks himself behind the 7 ball. That's the only thing that would go wrong there. But if he doesn't go up the left hand side, he's going to be from the middle of the table. Now this is the one where he's got to avoid the 9 if he can. If he hits the 9, it's not going to be a disaster. He'll still have a reasonable shot in the 6. So this rack should be over. I had a weird thing happen earlier on. I was mucking about with Marillus Action, which is the other streaming software that I use. I don't use it an awful lot, but a weird thing happened, and when I started it, it was actually flickering. It was flickering just to have the actual software running, and it was really weird because I'll tell you what happened. It was like a pulse. It was going a black screen back to the screen and back to the actual the user interface of the software, and I couldn't work out what it was. But having tested it 3 or 4 times, a strange thing happened. It actually put the PC to standby, and then the PC would switch on. And I thought, oh, what the hell's wrong with this now? And this was just after starting the PC. I was doing a bit of testing and recording and stuff, and I uninstalled the software. This is how computers cause so many problems for people, especially people like me. That was a good cut in the 8 ball, and I couldn't work out what it was, so I uninstalled the software, reinstalled the program, and was getting exactly the same problem. And I've got an NVIDIA graphics card, NVIDIA, what is it, GTX Titan, and I noticed a notification in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. I clicked on the notification, and for the first time I've ever seen this, it said that your graphics driver failed to load. So you're running on the Windows default driver for your graphics card. And I thought, that's weird. Don't tell me the graphics card's going tits up. And so I opened up the NVIDIA, not the control panel, the NVIDIA Experience, and it told me that there was a new graphics driver available. So I installed that, and you know, it installed okay, and then I run Marillus Action, and it worked fine. So that's how weird things happen, and you know, very easy to panic and think everything's blowing up, but for some reason the graphics driver, I don't know whether that was maybe something to do with the NVIDIA GeForce Experience thing, because it is very temperamental. Lots of people have problems with that, trying to install drivers through it and trying to download drivers with it. It can be a nightmare. Anyway, everything's working, touch wood. The chat's working, we know that's going okay. My little doodle's working as well, should I need it. And Semi-Pro's up 1-0. And he's trying to be cute there. Now, for Monte Cristo to get into this match, he's going to have to pop balls. It sounds an obvious thing to say, but he's going to have to be able to pop balls to take whatever chances he can get to see if he can get to this 7 and out. And in actual fact, this 7 and out might not be that generous enough for him, because it's relying on semi-pro making mistakes at the latter end of the rack. And when there's, well, again, Monte Cristo isn't helping himself by making glaring mistakes like that, having a slam at the 3. This 4 and 5 ball, well, that 4's very tight. Let's assume you're not potting that from, unless you're right behind it and hit it in off the jaw. It's tight. Now this is awkward. I mean, you could actually try cutting that into the right middle pocket, but the cue ball's sort of not going anywhere particularly. And there's absolutely no benefit in semi-pro potting this 3 ball at the moment. He's probably looking for cover here. Maybe send it in towards the 4 and the 5 and try and hide the cue ball. Well, Monte Cristo now can use the 4 and 5 as a stopper. But he doesn't want to get too much power into this. He just wants to thin that 3 ball and just cut it. Oh, he's got a double kiss there. I do think he was trying to maybe bank the 3. It's difficult to say. Semi-pro can kick the 3 ball up the table, but if he gets it wrong, he's going to kick the 3 into the 7. He's hit it half ball, and he's got it pretty well. You know, I've said this lots of times as well, that when a player is getting a handicap, he has to have enough wits about him and awareness to actually benefit from it, and that is not to do stupid things, and to actually, you know, concentrate that bit more to benefit from the handicap. Like I say, it's pointless trying to rely on high rated players to make that many mistakes so that you're just going to go in and pot a ball to win a rack. You know, it's not often it happens. And, you know, it does look a tough ask for Monte Cristo from what we've seen so far and what he's been able to do. So semi-pro on the 4. Plenty of room to come in behind that 8 ball. Well, he's collided with it. Knocked it in. He's okay though. So this should be 2-0. And this one's the wee fiddly one, just controlling the draw. Used the 9 ball to kill the cue ball. And the 9 ball hanging over the middle pocket now. Makes it very simple. So we've not seen an awful lot of, in fact, I've not seen an awful lot of this guy playing at all. I don't recall ever seeing him play, but we haven't seen much evidence that Monte Cristo is going to be able to take any advantage of the chances he gets. Like this here, he's got an opportunity for a good safety, bring that cue ball back towards the 8 ball and the 2 ball and send the 1 ball up the table. Again, he's getting over ambitious here, looking for banks in a 1, and again, if you look at where the cue ball is, he's got absolutely no chance. I mean, he's hooked himself in the 2, had that 1 ball gone in and just giving himself more problems. Semi-pro, doing the right thing, trying to keep distance and make it awkward for his opponent. This cue ball needs to hit the rail, and if it does, it's not a bad effort. That's got a semi-pro in trouble. An easy enough kick though to get in behind the one. And even the lay of this table does not doesn't benefit Monte Cristo at all, because it's an extremely tough ask to ask him to get to the 7 ball from this position. 3 ball up there at the top end of the table by the 4. So now this requires just a little thin brush off the left hand side of that 3 and bring the cue ball back up here towards the 8 ball. Well, he played it. It was a brave shot, and it came off. The 3 onto the 8 ball, and of course that's the extra money ball. Well, he's saying sorry, so he obviously, presumably thought he was going to bank that 3 past the 8 ball, but it was never going to go past it. But they all count. So it's got him off the mark, and he's just trailing by 1, and the break is dry, and semi-pro's got no shot. Stuck behind the 9 ball. Now again, playing wisely when you have a push out in this situation, it's very easy to leave yourself open to the hook. So that's why semi-pro just pushed into the 9 to push the 1 safe, and that's using your head. Sometimes the push out is a very, very important shot. There are instances with the lay of the balls where you have to think, and you know, don't just tear in and play a push out. Just look at the lay of the table and what you're leaving yourself as well as your opponent, because you could be asking for trouble if you play the wrong shot. So semi-pro plays the bank. Now this is a toughie. It's a delicate cut in the 2. And the other problem is that should he get the 2 and get the 3, that 4 ball's nailed to the 6. Let's have a look. Yeah, you've got the 4 and the 6. There's no combo there. So more than likely, and I don't think the angle's there either off this 3. Well, he's got an angle. It's, yeah, he didn't get much joy there. That clip in the 8 ball didn't help, but he should have his opponent in trouble. It's going to be ball in hand. No rail contact after hitting the object ball. So, well, if there's going to be any sort of problem, it's the problem with the 6 ball. So he's nudged the 9, and this is not a gimme. Just got to get the connection right with this 5 ball. Yeah, you see, I don't know what he tried there, but he certainly, yeah. Well, nine balls' advice is get a decent mouse. That's the answer to that one. Also, get a good mouse mat. Now that 9 ball's tracking in behind the 8. Now that has got semi-pro in trouble here. Now, if he doesn't get any sort of connection in these two balls, he could be leaving himself open to the yeah, he's well away from it now. If Monte Cristo gets this 5 ball thin, he can put him on 2 fouls. He's got ball in hand. I don't know what he's doing looking there. Yeah, he just wants to skim off the 5 and try and somehow get over towards the 9 and make it as difficult as possible to get any angle to kick at this 5. I don't like what he's doing here. What's he trying to do? Combo the 8. Well, he's extremely lucky there. That was not the shot to play. And there's no way he played that. But anyway, semi-pro's hooked. An easy kick this time. But it's a second foul. It's ball in hand to Monte Cristo now. This is the instance where he has to take advantage of this. Now, is he paying attention? Well, he is paying attention. He's got the 5, an easy 6, and as long as he leaves himself out in the open here, he should be rolling the 7 ball in to tie the match up. Well, he's ran through an awful lot more than he actually needed to there. But he's got a fairly straight shot in the 7. It should be in. So that ties the match at 2-all now. Well, it's still early in the match. You know, if this was like, you know, 4-all, 5-all, then it puts the pressure on semi-pro. So Monte Cristo breaks off in rack number 5. Couple of balls, well, 1 ball's gone in. I thought a couple went in, but the 2 balls, well, a couple did go in. The 7 ball went in, and that's one of the extra money balls, so it gets respotted. That is going short behind the 3, so it's a cut back. Now, it'd be handy if he could collide with something to leave himself on that 4. Well, he's missed the 3 and he's scratched. And immediately, I'm giving the rack to semi-pro. Balls all in the open. Shouldn't be any problem here. He just has to find a gap to get on the 4. There's plenty of room on the table to find that gap. Well, this could be a wee bit awkward, is it? Yeah, it was queuing over that 6 ball. Just makes it a wee bit fiddly. And now he's going to go a bit more square on the 5 than he wants. This is him out of line slightly. So he just needs to gently get that 5 in and enough pace to come out for the 6 into the left middle. And that will do. Now there's a slight problem because he's the wrong side of the 6, I think. No, he's okay. He's okay. He can just run to the jaw of the pocket. Well, this isn't home and dry yet. It's getting from the 8 to the 9, and it all hinges on the angle that he has on this 8 once he's potted the 7. And that is pretty much, it looks pretty good. Yeah, well, he couldn't avoid the jaw, so it's a thin cut. Still expect him to get it. Is it going to get there? Is it going to get there? Well, there's the mistake. The unforced error is going to cost him. I think my voice is going already. So, that's the first real error by Semi-Pro, and he now finds himself behind in the match for the first time. The 7 ball's gone down again. It's going to get respotted, but the other thing is the cue ball's gone as well. So with that 7 ball being respotted, that's now stuck against the 8 ball in the middle of the table, which now makes it difficult for Semi-Pro to run out here. Now let's have a look and see what we've got. In fact, I thought it was it's the 4 ball and the 7. Now they're married up there, so the 4 ball isn't going anywhere sat there. Now he's got too much angle on this 3 as well. Couldn't run into the 4 and the 7 there with that shot. Now I don't know whether he can make a bank on this 4. Let's have a look. Well, he might be able to pot it. Yep, he could pot it without fouling the 7. Now this is the one that can go wrong, always falling below the 7 ball. If he wants to fall below, he wants it there so he can get it in the middle. I don't know whether he can avoid that, not the 7, the 6 ball I'm talking. No, he couldn't avoid the 7. And now he's out of line again. Let's see what we have. Well, he's well out of line because he can't get to the potting angle of the 6. So Monte Cristo should be sitting there poised, ready to pounce here. Well, that's a good shot. It's a good jump. Good recovery. And I don't think he wants to be doing too much with this cue ball here. Just run the 7 in and leave the long 8. So that, there was a glimmer of a chance there for Monte Cristo, but it's very quickly died. And Semi-Pro is going to tie the match back up. We're going to be all square at 3-all. And the break is dry. Now, can Monte Cristo pot the 1 and find the gap to get to that 2 ball? The gap between the 3 and the 4, or the 4 and the rail. Well, I think that's what he was thinking about, and he was thinking about that too much and he forgot about the 1. He's actually got himself on the 2. Well, no, he hasn't really. That he couldn't get to the potting angle there, but totally misjudged the cut in the 1. And Semi-Pro's got the same problem. Well, he's decided it wasn't a good shot to actually try and get on the 2 from there, so he's went up to the far corner. So it's a sort of 2-in-1 shot. Has he got a gap to get through there to pot that? Oh, well, he didn't, because he was hooked by the jaw there. Well, Semi-Pro can go for the 3 fouls because the 2 and 8's tied up. And Monte Cristo, whatever he does, if that 2 and 8 don't get moved, then well, that's actually a good kick. That's excellent. He's left nothing, but again, Semi-Pro has an easy safety here. And he's got the distance, and he's got the cue ball behind the 2, but not close enough to the 2, so Monte Cristo can jump over this. Now, he might be able to billiard that 7 in. He could hit the 1 and billiard the 7 into the pocket for the rack. There's a possibility, a strong possibility of that, and he's not looking at it and decided he wasn't going to jump. And, well, it might have been worthwhile having a go. Just billiard off the 1, clip the 7, and hopefully nudging the 7 in, but I don't think he's seen the shot, or he didn't fancy it. Meanwhile, there's results coming in. We've got Hoon and DJ Simon. DJ Simon's won the first match there, and Stevo UK against Daily Hustle. Daily Hustle has won that match, so the losers there move over to the 1 loss side. And meanwhile, Semi-Pro has put Monte Cristo in deep trouble here. Is this the third? Is he on 2 fouls? I can't remember. Well, he's certainly got to be in 2 fouls now. Now, Semi-Pro's got an open table, and the 4 and the 8 are tied up. So again, no benefit in actually trying to run the table. You're just going to nail Monte Cristo behind that 2. Well, that's freed the 8, but tied the 1 and the 4 up. So now he's in dire trouble here. It was a good effort. That's unlucky. Very unlucky. But it is 3 fouls. And Semi-Pro is back into the lead. 4 racks to 3. Four ball goes into the corner. Oh, that's handy. That little kiss on the 5, but the 1 has killed it over the corner pocket. So Semi-Pro has got a decent little angle to get the cue ball out of there. Now, my assumption there is he tried to put lots of top on it to kill it into the rail, but he's left himself a cut in the 2. I don't think he's going to scratch. Let's have a look. No, he's going to hit the knuckle. And he doesn't need to worry about position in the 3 because it's hanging over the bottom left hand corner. So he needs all his focus on this shot. Well, decided to go for the bank. And got a 2-in-1 shot. Gets the bank. And gets the kiss on to the 3. Well, he's going to have to work some other magic here in this 5 ball. This is extremely thin. In fact, there's no way he's cutting that in, is there? Very, very thin. He's going to have to be 100 mile an hour. Ah, he's got it. So this is the crucial shot. Enough weight on this cue ball to make sure he doesn't get involved with that 9 ball. Get the cue ball up the table. Lots of inside left English there to avoid tracking up towards the 9. Leaves him a longer shot in the 7, but plenty of room to get this cue ball down to this bottom rail here. Well, that wasn't a great shot. That was pretty poor. And again, he's got a very thin cut in this 8 ball. And he's got it. And he's going to fall behind the 9. Top side of the 9. And the further he goes to that cushion, the easier it is to get the 9 into the middle. So this for 5-3. Not exactly smooth running for Semi-Pro, but he's got there in the end. And he breaks off in rack number 9. And what's going down? 6 balls going down. He's got a shot in the 1. 2 balls over the corner. 3 balls up the top side there as well. Now 4 ball is the bottom end of the table here, so the table's wide open. The only problem might be getting from the 8 up to the 9, because you've got that distance and the 9's tight on that top rail. It's the only place there might be a problem. Well, there's a problem now because he's finished awkward in this 3 ball. This is extremely difficult. Oh, it's just gone in. Any harder that wouldn't have gone in. It wiped his feet. Now again, in between here with his shots, this is why he's taking it into the corner, because that way he can stay on the right hand side of the table for the 7 into the same pocket. I just got to read the angle because it's into a blind pocket, but clean as a whistle. Now here's where the problem might be, getting from the 8 to the 9. And he doesn't want to be too far away from this 8 ball. You see now he is far away from the 8 ball, and he's reasonably straightish, so he's going to have to force this. Either a lot of top or a lot of bottom, one of the two. And he looks as if he's drawing. And he's judged it well. That's perfect. When it's tight in the rail like that, you want to get right behind it if you can, and that's, can't ask for much better than that. And that takes him to the hill, leading by 6 racks to 3. Something's gone in. He's got a tough start on this 1 ball. Cue ball's running over to the left hand side of the table as well, but the 2 ball is very adjacent to that left middle. But he's going to need a bit of luck here. He's having to dig in to avoid running into those balls. Again, well played. Now he's got another problem. He's close to the bottom rail, can't get into the cue ball. He's going to have to maybe rest onto the 7. Well, that's gone slightly wrong as well. The pace has just run through, so now he's in no man's land again. Well, he's having to work for it, we'll say that. He's having to work, but he's just getting out of line. And this time he's overcut it. So Monte Cristo, well, this is last chance saloon. And it's one of these ones with a 4 ball deep into that corner pocket. It's very difficult to judge getting movement on this cue ball. And he's managed to get some draw into it, and that will do. Well, he should be winning this rack. There's no reason why he shouldn't be. Just off the end rail, out for the well. That's gone wrong. That's a disaster. Far too much juice on it, and that'll be end of match. So semi-pro, well, he's going to have to stun this if he's going to get 8 into the same pocket. Yep, firm stun. Semi-pro is home and dry as long as he gets a reasonably straight shot in this 9 ball. Make it easy for himself. And Monte Cristo will get his second chance in the 1 loss side, which, if I remember right, is a race to 4. So semi-pro wins the match 7 racks to 3. There's a few results come in, and this is one of them. And we'll have a look and see. Oh, I need to update that the refresh thing for 30 seconds, right? So that match is just completed, and Larry is given 5 and out to Daily Hustle, and Daily Hustle's already up 2-0, and Hoon well, that match, that was a second round match. DJ Simon's through there waiting to play the winner of the Larry Daily Hustle match. We've still got, well, the semi-pro results finally came through. Semi-pro's now going to play Simanx, and it's going to be 7 and out for Simanx as well, or Simanx, however you want to pronounce it. And Tommy the Welder is leading by, what's that? Is that 6 racks to 3 against Christian. So we will nip in and we will see this Daily Hustle against Larry. So Daily Hustle leading by 2 racks to 1, and Daily Hustle getting 5 and out. So Larry can't afford any mistakes. It's the usual story for Larry. Well, the problems might start here when he tries to get from this 5 to the 6. Well, this cue ball, if he just plays it plain, cue ball should be coming over there somewhere, so he's going to have a bit of distance. It depends how much he wants to try with this shot. If you just play to pot the 5, then the cue ball's going over to the left. And that's pretty much what he wanted. Now ideally he wants to come off this bottom rail and go into the right hand rail, closer to the rail than the 7 ball if he can. That makes it nice and comfortable for the little draw, and the cue ball will go out into the table. Well, he's gone the other way, he's left himself the angle the other side. Again, a wee bit more than he actually needed, but he still should be fine. And the 9 ball's well off the rail at the top end of the table, so there shouldn't be any problem here. Well, it can go 2 ways of doing it. You can play it with inside English to check the cue ball up to the left hand side of the table. He's going around the angles, and as I said, with the 9 ball being off the rail, plenty of room to get a pot and a cut on that 9. So Larry is going to tie the match up. 2 racks all. Well, there was something I wanted to test. That doesn't work. Right, are you getting picture now, guys? Let me know. Right, so you've got it now, right? Aye. Well, that was a test that'll not do again, because I could allocate a button to actually put the Be Right Back screen up, but the problem is when I do that, I don't actually see nothing on my end. I would have to have the second monitor up and running, so we'll give up that idea. Right, anyway, back to the match. Larry's now 4-2 up. There's the result come in. Tommy the Welder against Christian. And Tommy the Welder has won the match 7 racks to 4. Larry's got a 4-2 lead, but well, when you're given 5 and out, a 4-2 lead could very rapidly disappear. And Daily Hustle, well, he's another guy with mouse problems. Well, the only way you can really get mouse problems nowadays is either dirt on the lens or a crappy surface that you're using the mouse on. Because I don't think there's that many people using a rollerball mouse in this day and age. I'll check. This is the mouse mat I've got. This is the best mouse mat I've ever had. That there. It's gold, a gold finish on it, and it's very thin, and that's the size of it. And it is made by a company called Perix. www.perix, Perix, no, tell a lie, Perix.com. Perix. It's got the non-slip surface on the base of it, but it's very thin metal mouse mat, and it's a gold size, a gold colour, sorry, and they do, like, I think a couple of different sizes. I think this is a small one, and I'll tell you, it's the best investment I've ever done for a mouse mat. Metal, light, and my little mouse that I use, bear in mind I've got a stack of mice, but the little one I'm using tonight is my little micro mouse. My little truss micro mouse, that thing there. I've got 2 different versions of it. And that skims like an ice skate on ice, so it does on that mouse mat. Get yourself a decent mouse and a decent mouse mat, and VP4 will play very smooth. Good evening, whoever that was, because I missed the name. Was that you, Popman? So Larry still 2 up, 4 racks to 2, and this is a difficult one, somehow getting on this 6, and that's a cracking effort. Well, he's gone a wee bit further than he would have liked, but I mean, you can't ask for much more than that. He's still got a shot in the 6. Pressure's on though. He doesn't want to be hanging this up because he knows he's losing the rack. Is he going to bank it? Or is he just going to stun? Oh, he sent it into the jaws, but it's gone. Pocket weight. Oh, it is Popman. Good evening, welcome. I was just talking about my mouse mat there in case you missed that. Yeah, just get onto Google and go to perix.com and get yourself one of those mouse mats ordered. That and a laser mouse, and it will work perfect with Virtual Pool 4. And Larry's got the weight dialed in tonight. Apart from the fact he's just stuck on the rail, but a little gentle push on the 8. Is he going to run off the side rail and back out for the 9? No, he's just gently holding it for the 9. So Larry widens the gap. It goes to 3. It's going to be 5 racks to 2, and Daily Hustle has to keep his wits about him. 6 balls going in. Certainly 6 ball was one that went in. And if Larry can see the one, well, he can't see it. He's going to try and kick it in. I think he's just got enough. The one ball's just out of the pocket far enough for him to possibly skim around and kick the one in, but he looks more likely he's going to jump to the rail. That'd be the safest thing to do. If you jump to the rail or jump to about there and try and push the one in rather than directly, he could follow it in. Well, he's avoided that anyway. He's way high on this 2 ball. And he needs a good one to get good on this 4. And that's going to bounce high enough. That's perfect. I don't know whether he's got a simple little draw back for the 5. Yeah. A little gentle draw. Well, it looks like another break and run for Larry. Now, this is what's expected of players over 200 ratings. When you're breaking and getting a ball in a break and the balls are split and spread, you expect them to run out. And this is where the guys who are getting 5 and out, they think they're being hard done by, but you know, the guy Larry's doing what's expected of him. And Daily Hustle's chances are going to be few and far between. But if and when he does get a chance, he simply has to take it. But right now, it doesn't look that good for him. This 8 and 9. And Larry will be 6-2 up. So Larry breaking off in rack number 9, needing one more. 6 balls going in again in the top left. Yeah, aye, that's... Oh, I don't know, I don't remember how much it cost me. It wasn't that expensive. I don't know whether it was 7 or 8 quid or something, I can't remember. But it's a bloody good mouse mat, I can assure you. Cracking mouse mat, light as a feather, metal, and if you get decent feet on your mouse, it will glide over it like glass. Well, I'll tell you, it's worth a tenner. Definitely. So Larry... Well, his only problem is going to be the 3 and the 9. 3 and 9 are tied up. And that's Daily Hustle's lifeline right there. Well, Larry would normally probably play this with right hand spin just to clip the 3 and go to the rail and come up here behind the 4. He's managed to avoid hitting the 5. And he's got enough spin to put Daily Hustle in dire trouble behind that 7. And of course, this is where Daily Hustle is going to possibly have a slam at this and fall right into Larry's hands here, because he's going to split the 9, whatever happens. The 9 has been split. Daily Hustle's got lucky. He's got the hit, and he's left Larry not an awful lot. A very thin cut on the 3, but he could he could kick the 3 up the table and just hope he gets it safe, but you know, knowing Larry's got a sniff of a cut here, he'll probably line up to go for it. No, he's playing safe. Well, if I was Daily Hustle, I'd be banking this back into this corner. I'd just be going for it. Yeah, he's got the double bank, but where's the cue ball going? He needs to get the gap between the 8 and 9. And same again, just get that banked into the corner. Double bank again. Might as well. He's at the point of no return anyway. And in goes the 4. Nice kiss in the 5. That's unlucky. Well, it's going to be a kick bank on the 9 here, unless he wants to play safe. Oh, that is extremely unlucky. That is very unfortunate, but that's more than likely Daily Hustle's chance to stay in the match pretty well gone. And Larry just completing the formalities here. Straightforward enough, 7 ball. Well, he's got an angle in this 8. I would tend to just follow the right English just to come back off the rail and stay over on the right hand side. Not do anything too elaborate. A wee bit of inside English. He's got the pace and he's got a fairly straight 9 for the match. So a fairly comfortable win for Larry, doing what was expected of him. And Daily Hustle, well, he's going to have to battle his way through the 1 loss side. So Larry wins by 7 racks to 2. And the tournament is moving on at a reasonable pace. Let's have a look at that. So Larry now is all set to play DJ Simon. Semi-Pro is playing Tommy the Welder. And Tommy the Welder's getting the 7 ball. Now DJ Simon will be getting like 7 and out or something against Larry. Maybe even more than that. But DJ Simon is what's he getting? 6 and out. Well, that is generous for DJ Simon. And well, he might give Larry a wee bit more opposition, but we don't know. We'll see. Let's have a look at the 1 loss side here. What's going on? Steve-O UK is playing Christian, and Christian is getting 7 and out. It's only a race to 4 on the 1 loss side. Steve-O is that 3-0 or what? No, he's up 2-0. And well, other than that, the rest of the guys here are all waiting on results on the winner's side. So I think we should nip in and see how Larry handles DJ Simon once the room goes up. Well, the room is up. So this might be a bit of a tougher test. I don't know. I never saw anything come through in the results here. Where the hell is he? Well, he lost. He lost to Simon. What, 7-4, and Simon's through to play Larry. And well, I don't know what the story is with that. Yeah, he wasn't there to play, or whatever happened with him in Monte Cristo, I don't know. Well, that was a quick first rack. So quick we missed it. But DJ Simon is up 1-0, and remember, he's player 2 and he's getting 6 and out. So Larry's going to have to be a wee bit more wary of his actions. Well, if it was a forfeit, it would show forfeit rather than a DQ, which is weird. A DQ is the tournament director going in and actually DQing the player for whatever reason. So Larry didn't have the pot angle in the 2, but he's got DJ Simon stuck behind the 8. And this is the old kick and hope. Give it a bash and hope you get lucky. Oh, that's extremely lucky. How about that for a cut? And the pressure's now really on Larry, because DJ Simon just needs to pot the 5, not hook himself behind the 8, and he's got the 6 into the middle. That's a bit of good fortune you need. So straight away, DJ Simon is 2-0 up. So now Larry's going to have to work for it, and look at the danger ball. There it is. There's the 9 ball hanging over the pocket. And Larry is going to have to try a 3-ball combo here to certainly move that 9. And also the other problem is if he moves the 9, the 7 ball might be left lying over the pocket as well. Well, he's played the kick off the rail. Excellent. I think a 3-ball combo would have been a bit of an ambitious shot, but the kick off the rail gets rid of that problem, and a quick response from Larry, and he's off and running. Now this time he's come up dry, but he's left nothing on. Now if DJ Simon plays down to where he looks as if he's going to play, it's dangerous, because if Larry can see the edge of this 1 ball, which you'd expect him to, he could have Simon in a lot of trouble. And he still could have Simon in trouble here if Larry can punch the 1 up the table and draw back in behind the 9 and the 7. I don't know whether it looks as if he can. There's a danger of him actually banking that 1 into the middle pocket, I think. It's hard to say. Well, he's tried to tuck the 1 up behind the 6 on the rail. Hasn't quite got there, but it's safe enough. Now there's an angle for Larry to get himself up by the 9 and the 7 again here and use that 4 as a possible stopper. But he's not playing it. He's trying to tuck Simon behind the 4, and he's got there. Same again. Now remember what happened in the other rack. Simon had a kick and then got lucky. He might get lucky again. Have a bash, have a smash, and fingers crossed. And he's done it again. Oh, I thought he'd done it again. Well, he's left a cut. It isn't easy, but plenty of room should Larry get it to get out into the table on this too. Now that 3 and 7 ball are sat there as a possible combination in the top left hand corner pocket, and that's possibly what Larry's going to have to do here. Well, I think he's lining up to get himself as straight as he can onto this set here. So if he stuns it in the cue ball across, try and get that as straight as he can. And he's just gone beyond the line. But that's not bad. And that he's relying on the 3 ball skimming past the 9 here, or it's skimming into the 9 to leave a shot on it. Well, it's avoided the 9 and it's gone safe, so there's still a glimmer of a chance here for DJ Simon in this rack. Surely he's got to reverse bank this 3. That's set all the way, that 3 ball. That is a very good bank, that 3 ball. It's 9 out of 10 every time. And that is pretty good as well. Well, anything but hooking yourself behind the 6 would be the required shot here. So DJ Simon got the break there. Larry left a very simple bank in the 3. And DJ Simon just needs this 6 ball to square it up again. To open up the gap again, I should say. It's now 3-1. But he can't ram home that advantage. He's drying the break. And Larry's not got any great shot here. He's got a combo possible in the 1 and the 4, but is he prepared to take the risk? No, he's not. He's just trying to tighten things up here. And that's actually pretty good, although I think Simon can make the angle off the rail. Oh, aye. Well, this time, not so lucky. He scratched, ball in hand for Larry. And an extremely good opportunity here to run the table. No reason why he shouldn't. Balls are all sitting perfect. Just tuck the 1 in, roll to the rail. And as long as he's closer to the rail there than the 2, which he is, he's got a little angle to get the cue ball out. He just needs to roll through a wee bit. And he's also now got the angle to stun across for the 4 into the bottom left, avoiding the 6 ball. Oh, he's rattled the 3. Well, DJ Simon is not going to get a better chance than this. He's straight on the 3. He's having to squeeze a little angle. And he's got it. Well, he's got to surely just let this run and get the cue ball over here. Plenty of room to get out behind that 6. Well, if you nudge into it, fine. So now, as long as he leaves himself a sight in the 6, he's got a chance to widen the gap. And it's going to be 4-1. And that's the difference. Daily Hustle wasn't able to take advantage of any opportunities he got. And the difference is DJ Simon is. And that really puts the pressure on the high-rated player. And not only that, DJ Simon's got 3 balls in the break. He only has to pot the 2. Oh, is he going to hook himself? Oh dear. He's definitely hooked. He's out with the jump stick. Now he's relying on having a sight on this 6. Should he actually jump this 4 ball into the pocket? Well, he's missed it. And, well, that's his chance gone. Larry will be able to play this with a bit of right inside English to get that cue ball checked off the left rail and come back across for the 6. He doesn't need to do an awful lot as long as he doesn't hook himself behind the 9. That's the worry here with this shot. And he's punched into the 9, avoided the block. Well, this could be quite a significant rack because Larry was staring down the barrel of a gun there at 5-1. But he's got a chance to rescue it back to 4-2 here. So the crucial one is getting from the 8 to the 9, and there really shouldn't be any problem at all. Big area to get the cue ball into to get good on this 9. But the wrong angle in the 7 at the moment, so again he's having to work the cue ball. And again, loads of right inside English What's he done here? Well, he's having to work it. He's going to have to spin this. And that's what's done him. And it's a gift in the end for DJ Simon. Just getting the wrong angle on the 8 ball. And Larry having to force with spin to get that cue ball to stun up the table and spin off the rail for the 9. And that's what's cost him. So in the end, it's all backfired. And Simon's now 5-1 up. There's the result from the one lost side. And Stevo UK has beaten Christian 1972 by 4 racks to 2. Well, the 9 balls very dangerously close to that top left hand corner. And Larry can use the 5 as a stopper and try and get that cue ball hid. But again, the danger here is pushing the 5 and just leaving it near the corner. So he's betwixt and between here as to what to do. Well, he's pushed the 5 towards the corner. Has he got the cover? No, he hasn't. Now Simon could billiard off the 1. The billiard's definitely on. Off the 1 onto the 5. And that's what he tried. He tried it. And this is Larry's chance. It's going to have to be a good shot here. Good evening. Good evening, Simon. Welcome aboard. And that's a good shot by Larry. Pretty straight in the 3. Now this can go wrong as well because Larry is straight in the 3. If he tries to punch this 3 in to create an angle that isn't there, he might be trying to force this cue ball that way slightly to get a shot in the 4. No, he's decided against it. He's decided to take his medicine. So now he's got a toughie. Is he going to try and cheat the pocket, or is he going to try and cut the 4 into the middle? If he cuts it into the middle, he's going to be running down onto the 5. Well, he's squeezed it in. Well, he's somehow got to avoid hitting the 8. And he's a bit straight on the 5 as well. So draw and a wee bit of left-hand English, but not an awful lot. And as long as he avoids the scratch, which he has, he's still in with a chance. So Larry's hanging on. If he's going to enforce that, he's going to have to get a ball in the break, and he's going to have to run out in this next rack, you would think. Or at least keep it very tight. So 5-2 it is now to DJ Simon. And nothing has gone. It's dry. Oh, he's going to finish hooked. That's unlucky. That's extremely unlucky. Again, now, well, Larry's thinking he might have a chance here. Simon's managed to spin and use the rail, get the kick in the 2. Has he got lucky? He certainly has as well. And he's got Larry hooked behind the 9. So a wee bit of the running doing Simon a favour. And Larry just needs a bit of luck. Well, the 2's there for the cutting, and it's going to have to be a gentle cut so that this cue ball can come off the rail and across to leave a sight in the 3. Well, he's hit that far too hard. Yeah, he's too much pace on it. Now he's got no shot other than trying to get this safe. And that's not safe. It's wide open. And now Simon will be feeling the pressure, even though he's 5-2 up. He knows that with this table lying the way it is, Larry's got every opportunity here to narrow the gap again. That's just run through a wee bit further than he would like. He would have liked to have just been able to stun this in. He's having to work the cue ball a wee bit more than he really wants to here, just to get on the 7. And now again he's got a bit more. Let's have a look. Let's go for his side if I can get the bloody thing to move. Yeah, just gonna have to gently drop it in. But he's okay. And it's going to be 5-3 to DJ Simon, but Larry with the break. This would definitely make a difference if Larry can get a ball in the break and get a run out. But it isn't happening. Nothing has gone. Oh, I don't think that's going to get there, is it? Well, it's just got there. Now, can Larry jump over the 5? I think he can, and I think he can get the cutting angle in this one. He might even try spinning it. We'll soon see. Let's look at it from that angle. I think he is going to jump, but he's playing the pot, so he has to avoid that 3 ball. And that's a great shot. He's going to have to do another one. Jump stick again. Well, this is less of a problem. Just a straight in 3. The problem's the 5, because the 5 isn't going past the 9. It goes past the 8 into that corner. So that's where he's got his problem to deal with. And he's hung it up. Well, that might be Larry's lifeline there, where the 5 ball is. Because remember, DJ Simon has to get to the 6. And, well, now does he try and get behind the 5 so he can get the sight on it into A pocket somewhere at this bottom end of the table? Well, I think that's what he's tried. He's not far off it. And that's a good effort. That is pretty damn good. Well, he can draw back with a bit of bottom left. I don't know whether he can draw into this 6. Well, he's drawn into it. He's pushing it safe. If he could have avoided it, he could have come around behind it, but now he's going to have to dig something out here. This is very thin. Has he got the second prize? Well, I don't know whether Larry can he see enough of that 6 to actually bank it. I think he can. He's spinning it to make the bank. He's going all out for it. And he's hung it up. Now, can Simon get the kick off the rail? This is deep in the pocket. I don't think he can. That's deep in the pocket. he would have to just barely miss that 9 ball, and I think it'd be virtually impossible to get to the edge of that 6 to knock it into the pocket. So, well, is the comeback still on here? And there's another result came in, and Monte Cristo has beaten Daily Hustle in a final rack decider, 4-3. And Larry at the moment trailing 5-3, but looks very likely to be 5-4. And Larry was one ball away there. Had Simon got on that 6 ball from the point of no return, but he's still well in this match now. I'll have another wee drink. So Larry, trailing 5-4, breaks off rack number 10. And it's another dry break, I think. Well, Simon's got to push to this bottom end of the table here to where we are. He can't go anywhere up the top side because the 1 will just drop in. Well, he's pushed the 4 onto the 1, so that's still safe. Now has Larry just... No, he's decided I'm not having any of that. He's pushing it back. And that's not a bad outcome. Larry can see an edge, I think, just an edge of this 1 ball. And the edge that he sees, he's pushing that 1 towards the 7. Oh, he's got lucky. He's got extremely lucky. And he's pushed the 1 in off the 7. And he's got a... Well, I don't know whether he wants to cut that, or whether he wants to bank it. The 4 I don't think's helping much where it's sitting. Now the more you look at it, the more he could probably play it in off the 4. Aye, I think he could. Makes the pocket that bit bigger. I thought that was past the jaw. Well, he has used the 4, so it's worked out. And the 4's in good position, meaning Larry doesn't have to do anything with the 3 ball. He just needs to roll it in. He'll have a shot in the 4. But even at this stage, Larry has to stay on his toes. He cannot afford a mistake. And he's missed the 3. And it was awkward over that 7 ball. And he's pretty much got away with it now. Does Simon want to try and create the bank on this 3, or is he trying to hide in the long grass? Well, that didn't work because the cue ball was going to spin into the 7 ball every day of the week there, and he's left it on. Let's have a look at this 4 now. Well, the 4 goes, provided Larry can get himself right down this bottom end of the table. And he's got a good angle to do that, as long as he doesn't go too far. And I think he's got the pace pretty well sorted. That will do nicely. Just drop the 4 in. But the important shot is yet to come, and it's getting from that 5 up to the 6. And ideally he wants to roll to the rail here. Is he going to come out? Well, that's gone a bit straight again. Well, it's dead straight. That's okay. But he has to bounce. Give himself that bit of an angle. Plenty of room to find the left-hand side of the table here for this 7 ball. But it's all about judging the pace. It's the same problem. He doesn't want to run through to here. He wants to be finishing there. And he's following the line. He's just a bit short. So there's a bit of pressure on here. Because he's also got to make sure he doesn't hit it too soft and not come out far enough past this 9 ball. Has he got there? Has he got there? He hasn't. And that's the only problem, is not going through with the shot far enough to get yourself away from that 9. And now Larry's in dire trouble here. Is he trying to just miss the 9 and punch the 8 around the table? Yes, he is, but he's got too much draw on it. He's actually drawn the cue ball out. Well, he sold that rack down the river there. Far too much juice into it. He wanted to stun that and kill the cue ball, and he actually drew it. And it's ended up just a gift. So now Larry is at that point of no return. DJ Simon with a gift to go 6-4. The 6 ball's gone in, but that's going to be respotted. And DJ Simon, well, I don't know whether he can't, so he's just looking for somewhere to push, but the push out could leave him in trouble. Well, he hasn't called the push, so he's just looking to clip the 1. It hasn't gone safe. It's a simple enough combo. And the only problem I can see, obviously, is the 5 and the 7. Now Larry, provided he gets to the 3 ball, if he had an angle on that 3 ball from that side, he can cut the 3 in, and he can have the angle to come down here and split the 5 and the 7. But he has to have an angle on that 3 to be able to do that. And the 8 and the 9 are in the way. Now Larry has found the line and he's got the angle. So here's the opportunity to split these 2 balls. And this is a crucial shot. And that looks good. That is extremely unlucky. Can he get past the 7? Oh, aye, he's got plenty of room to get past the 7. The only problem is can he avoid scratching off this 5? No, I think that was a worry. But again, well, has Larry got it covered? Let's have a look. No, he hasn't. There's just enough room there to squeeze that 5 past. Well, he missed it. Well, Larry's hanging on by the skin of his teeth here. Did all the work to get that split on the 5 and the 7. Just didn't get enough luck for it to open up for him. Well, he's still not home and dry in this rack. Now, we know that the 8 ball goes past the 9. There's no problem. It goes past either side. It's just about judging the weight to get there. Well, that takes out that problem. Simple enough 7. An even simpler 8. And a kill the cue ball for the 9, or a run off the end rail and back out for the 9. Either way, he should be home and dry in this rack. Well, you just come back again a wee bit more than you want to. I still say that's that That's that mouse that does that. I still blame that mouse. Anyway, he's got the job done. And so now, well, Larry's had a couple of breaks and he's not had a ball in a break. What he wouldn't give for a ball in a break right now. Trailing 6-5. We're into rack number 12. He was 5-1 down and he's got a couple of balls. He's got 3, he's got 4. I mean, he's going in. 1, 2, 3, 4 balls have gone, and would you believe it, he's got no shot other than a bank. Now, does Larry take the risk? Because the bank is good on this 4 ball. But does he take the risk? Well, there's your answer. And the only problem is he's clattered into the 9. That's killed the cue ball. And now he's trying to tuck behind the 8. Well, Larry's in control here. And Simon's just going to have a blast here, I think. No, he's keeping it tight. Oh, how's that 6 and 9 set? Let's have a look. Oh, no, that's nowhere near anything. Well, now we're going to get a bit of hide and seek here. And that's an excellent shot. Well, Larry's got a similar problem. Now, what does he do? He looks as if he's lining it up. He's going for the kick. And if he gets it right, which he should get a fair line, he should just follow through onto the 7. If he gets it half ball or anything, this can go wrong. And that... Oh, now, wait a minute here. Well, that has worked out extremely favourably. That could have been a nightmare. It could have been an absolute nightmare. Good evening. Is that Dizzle? Well, Simon's had his chances, but Larry's hung on, and we're going all the way to the final rack decider. And Larry breaking off. Well, he got the break. 4 balls in the break there, and just didn't get a shot in his next ball. So Larry with a break in the final rack. Oh, now the 9 ball's gone in. Now that's going to come back up. But more importantly, how is he fixed on this first shot? Well, it'll be a good shot to get that 7 in. He's decided just to play safe. Well, that's good to see. We've got guys on Twitch, we've got people on YouTube. Well, ball in hand to Larry. Simon didn't hit the right ball, and well, this is Larry's chance to pinch the match. He's taking his time, he's looking at how he wants to run this. A little draw back in the 1. As straight as he can on the 2. So that he can come back for the 3. I think he's got more angle on this than he wanted. Well, that's not ideal. He's digging a hole for himself here. He's got his work cut out here. Look at where the 4 ball is. He's managed to cut the 3. Well, this time he's even tighter to the 4. So it's going to take a thin one in this 4 ball. And get no real idea where he's going for this 5 ball. Very difficult to judge the cut and angle in a ball. He might even played safe there, I don't know. But anyway, it's ended up not too bad. And now the pressure is all on Simon to keep it tight. And that looks as if he's done that fairly well. Well, Larry can see the 4. He can go off the left-hand side and try and get distance, but he wanted to keep tracking, and that's ended up not bad either. Trying to use that 8 ball, and he certainly, I think he's hidden the potting angle in the 4. Now, oh dear. Well, that's all wrong. I presume Simon was trying to clip the edge of it. Actually avoided the 4 altogether. And straight into the pocket. So this is Larry's chance now. But even so, this 5 ball isn't sitting ideally, especially where the 4 ball is tight in the rail. And he's managed to get a sight in the 5. Oh, where's the cue ball? Oh, he's okay. That 9 ball could have spelled disaster there. Now, another quick look at this 7 ball. Well, that 7 ball is fine as long as you get behind it. Either way, to take it into the top corner as we look, or to try and drop it into the middle. It's tight to get into the middle. You have to get good on that to be able to do it, so it looks as if he's going to try and play it long. I think he's going to try and just draw behind it. Well, no, he's not. Well, this is dangerous, because he's got to get it in and get the cue ball right onto this rail for the 8. And he's done it well. And he's got a nice little angle in this 8 ball just to punch it in and come back slightly for the 9. Well, he's decided to leave himself higher on it. He should be home and dry though. Well, it turned out it was a battle. Oh, well, that almost wiped its feet, but from 5-1 behind, Larry, well, he's a little wounded animal when he's 5-1 behind. He's dangerous. You've got to take your chances when you get them. But that focused his mind, and the big comeback has worked the trick, and he wins the match by 7 racks to 6. So that's a good result there for Larry, given 5 and out, or 6 and out, I should say. And if we now look at the bracket, this tourney is well on now. Larry is now through to play. Well, it's going to be Larry for the 3rd time in a row, because this is the big match of the night. We've got Larry against Semi-Pro for the hot seat. And Semi-Pro, well, this is the same as last week. Semi-Pro's getting the... What the hell's he getting? I've got to get out my seat to read that. Is he get... You're joking. Is he getting the 5 ball? That is a bloody joke. That's the same as last week. Or the week before, whenever the hell it was. And Semi-Pro has been given the 5 ball against Larry. And, you know, something, honestly, seriously, you guys, everybody needs to get this mailed in to Steve. And in fact, Simon, or whoever is listening, you want to get Steve told to get this handicap sorted for any players over 200. They should be playing scratch matches. There is no way on this earth that Semi-Pro should ever be getting the 5 ball against Larry in this tournament. So Well, that's the way it is until somebody sees sense. Is that you, Simon? Simon, seriously, right? This needs to go in your priority list. Have a word with Steve and get him told that he needs to get this coded for players who are 2,200 and over. That whenever they play in a tournament like this, there's no way that anybody should be getting a handicap. No, not anybody with an ounce of common sense can see why semi-pro is getting a 5-ball against Larry. Yeah, any player that's 2,200 and playing a player of the same rate or higher should not be getting a handicap. That's a load of shit. It just spoils the game. Because, I mean, you know, semi-pro gets a chance here. He might only have to pot one ball in each rack to win the bloody rack. It's just stupid. There has to be. I mean, if he set a higher, if he set a level where a player can't get a higher rating than 3,000, then he has to do something about this handicapping against the rating as well. These players should be playing scratch every day of the week. So semi-pro at the table. He's got the 2, the 3 in the open, the 4 on the left-hand rail. And as long as he can get good in the 4 and a little soft draw back, he's got the 5 for the rack. Yeah, Steve's going to have to spend a bit of time and really look at this rating for players 2,200 and above. And there should be no such thing as any handicapping in 9-ball, especially in tournaments. Well, semi-pro's done what was required. He's got the little draw off the 4 and a little push in the 5, and he's 1-0 up. Well, the break is dry. Larry comes to the table with no real shot in the 1. He could try a long jump over that 8-ball if he wants to be ambitious. But the penalty he pays if he doesn't get the hit in the 1, or he doesn't get it safe, or he doesn't get the pot, is that semi-pro will just come in and get to the 5-ball again. But Larry has got the pot. Now, can he get that 2 past the 9? And the answer to that is not likely. It's very tight. In fact, it's so tight, there's no way surely he's trying to pot this. Or are my eyes so bad? Well, he tried. Well, you see, there's the thing. Larry's tried to play a, you know, not even a 50-50 combo there in that 2-9. And now all he's done is sold the rack down the river. Provided that semi-pro can get from the 3 to the 4, which I have to say isn't going to be that easy. But he's got a straight 3. He just has to get the draw and draw back to here. Anywhere there. That's the zone he wants to be in to be able to get the cut in the 4. And that is what was required, and that's what he's got. He's got in between the lines. Commentator's eye again. Oh, we've got a few people watching tonight, eh? Strangers on Twitch and strangers on YouTube. No, I'll tell you, he needs to actually renew his account because he's a gratis player. I checked that the other day when he was in the lobby. Well, It's 2-0 to semi-pro. It really ruins this match for me, to have two players of this standard and one's getting a 5-ball. It's just a total joke. It just spoils the whole match. So it does. Well, Larry spoiled himself here, I think. Has he? Oh, he's got plenty of room. I thought he's hooked behind the 6 here. That shows you how bad I'm getting. Ideally, if he'd missed that 3, he'd have been perfect. So now Larry's out of line again. And Larry trying to hide. Now the only way Steve's going to do anything, by the way, guys, is if 2 or 3 players message support and tell him that this rating system, in 9-ball in particular, in tournaments, it should be that any players that are 2,200 and over, when they play one another, you know, like if one is a 2,500 and one's a 2,200 odd, there should be no handicap. You know, Larry's got that rating because he's been in the Friday night 9-ball tournament more often than not, and that's how he's got that rating, because he's won a few of them. But there is no way that he should be given handicaps to players of a similar standard as he is, and semi-pro is a similar standard. There's no doubt about that. Every day of the week. You know, it's just ridiculous that this is set up in such a way that there isn't a sort of a borderline that once they cross it, then that's it. Handicaps cease to exist. And he's not going to turn around and say, no, I can't do that. It just means it's work for him to do. It's coding for him to do. But he definitely has to get it fixed, because it makes it stupid. It's laughable. It's like I said the other week. I mean, when I went on a rant the other week there, you wouldn't have Shane Van Boning playing Jason Shaw in a race to 7 and 9-ball, and Jason Shaw's getting the bloody 5-ball. You know, nobody would watch that. That's a joke, and it's no different for these players of this standard. It just makes it a joke, and anybody with half a brain would know that, and I include Steve in that. He should have enough sense to realise how stupid that is. Well, that's the rant over. Larry's got a chance to get one back here, as long as he doesn't overdo it getting onto this 8. And he's managed to control it. Now, is he going to come out behind this 9? Because the angle he's got would suggest that that's what he would do. No, he's playing it soft. He's going to roll it long into the bottom left. So this to get one on the board. Well, Larry's got to get balls in the break here. You know, if he doesn't, if he comes up dry and he leaves a shot on, he's pretty much going to lose the rack. Well, here's the test. He's come up dry. He's left a pot in the 1, the 2's in the side rail on the right, 3's in the open, 4's in the open, 5's down the side rail. This rack's over. Well, the only thing here is his semi-pro's gone straight in the 2. So he's going to have to judge the pace in the draw, and he's played that well. Plenty of room to work with. Now, has he got an angle? It won't be that much of a problem because, well, I think he's maybe a bit straight, so he's going to have to maybe try and pinch something here, and he's worked it okay. Hit it a bit too strong, and now he's out of line. So here is a possible chance. Now, is Semi-Pro going to try and cut this into the middle and maybe hit that 8-ball? He might hit the 8-ball if he stuns it, but it is not easy. He's went for the combo. Well, it might have backfired. This is a chance for Larry. Doesn't have to do a lot with the cue ball, just has to punch the 4 in and at least leave himself the cue ball off the rail onto this 5. And he's done that. Now here's the important one, because he's having to cut the 5 in unless he goes long. So he's going long. Soft draw. Well, I remember Steve saying about, when I said something to Steve at one time, he says, well, you're the only one that's saying it, whatever I was complaining about. And, you know, if enough people put in to support and talk about this handicapping system for these players, 2,200, and tell them that it's stupid that one of the players is getting a 5-ball against the other, it's the only way I'll ever do anything about it, if there's enough people say it's stupid. And you only have to give them the analogy of Jason Shaw playing Shane Van Boening. I mean, it's exactly the same in this game as it is in real life in that respect. You've got 2 pros here playing 9-ball. You know, 2 pros are playing 9-ball in a race to 7. Nobody gets a ball. Nobody gets a handicap ball. Well, Larry's got a bit more juice in that than he wanted again, and it just makes the cut a wee bit fiddly. Got to be careful. And in it goes, and Larry's got himself back all square. Now there's a result come through. Steve-O has won by 4 racks to 1 against DJ Simon. So Steve-O marches on. Larry breaks off in rack number 5. 3-ball threatened to go in, but it's hanging over the pocket. Now Semi-Pro, well, does he reverse bank the 1? Does he cut the 1 up the rail onto the 3? He's got a choice. Or he could maybe even cut it into this right-hand corner pocket. Well, somebody definitely needs to get Steve told. I'm no emailing him. He doesn't want to talk to me. So that's a good effort. That's an excellent shot. How's his luck? Well, it's going to have to be the old jump stick. And the jump attempt has failed. And it's ball in hand to Larry. Well, this isn't cut and dried. Now that 5-ball is extremely tight past the 9. So there's a bit of thinking to be done here. Yeah, but the thing is, right, this is a perfect example. You've got 2 players here. Now, Larry doesn't play in challenge rooms anymore. And in fact, Larry's usually only here once a week, and that's for the Friday night 9-ball tournament, and he maybe drops in for the 8-ball to see if it will run. So these ratings are all done in the tournaments, and that's the same for Semi-Pro. He rarely plays 9-ball. he only plays it in this tournament. He's more likely to play black ball or 8-ball pub or whatever. So the ratings are genuine in the sense that they've earned them in tournaments. It doesn't matter. You can argue all night. All I'm saying is there's no way anybody here should be getting any money ball. Period. End of story. A blind man could see that. And if Steve doesn't see it and do anything about it, then, well, you know, that's the way it is. Well, Larry was, I think, looking for the backup shot there, leaving himself on the 6. But he hasn't quite got there. And he's missed the 5 now. Well, semi-pro can certainly get to the edge of the 5. So that's the sickener, that shot there. Well, as I say, you know, more than one person has to be in contact with him to drive the point home so that he understands that this is stupid. Tell him to look at the bloody video. That's what to tell him. Look at the stream once it's over. He can look at, you know, these two players and one of them getting a... surely he can sit back and say, well, that is stupid. You know, you would think he would say, yes, they've all got a point. That's daft. One player getting a 5-ball in this situation, it's daft. But I think the big question is how much work does he want to give himself? If he's at the stage now where he doesn't want to be doing an awful lot more work in this game, then that's the way it's going to remain. I don't think anybody knows at what stage he's at in this game or whether he's doing anything for it at all. There's never been a roadmap like you get in a lot of games where the developers tell you what they're doing and how they're, you know, whatever roadmap there was 6 years ago, and most of that hasn't happened. We've got no leagues, you know. We'll get ladders that rarely get played. You've got no prizes for playing in ladders, you know. There's no prize tournaments either. I mean, what happened to them? Did somebody win a T-shirt, and did somebody win a queue on the first tournament that we had when the game opened? We've had nothing since. So, well, I've got my opinion on how the game's going. Anyway, it's 3-2 to semi-pro. Larry's at the table, and if there's going to be any sort of problem, it's just getting again from the 6 to the 7. The 7's got plenty of room past the 8. Aye, well, that was it. One queue. You know, why doesn't he do a tournament where a player wins, you know, a subscription for 2 years or whatever, something like that. But you know, you win all of this virtual prize money, but you can't spend it anywhere. You can't trade it in for anything. All you can do is just use it to enter another tournament and win more. Well, Larry's leaving himself short again. And these are testers. But this to square the match. And in it goes. In off the far jaw. And again, a ball in the break this time. I thought it was dry. I just noticed the 7 ball's gone. One's tight in the rail. And this is awkward to get out for this too. Can he gently get it in? Yes, he can. No, that's the thing I said to Steve. I said that to Steve 2 or 3 years ago. I want to be able to trade in the money that I've got from tournaments and renew my membership. He says, aye, maybe we should do that. Never happened. Never happened. So I say, anything I've ever said now is just a waste of breath. He's no interested. So I'm done. I'm done speaking to him. Or I'm done emailing him. You know, so it'll die in its feet or it'll keep going. How much does he want to invest in the actual game? I don't think he wants to invest much in it. He never invested enough to actually finish the bloody snooker table. You know, if you look at the way the snooker table's finished, there's no ball rails, no racks for the balls. You know, it just looks ugly. It was never finished. Things like that, the little finishing points. You know, he wants to do himself a favour and get himself into that shooter's pool and have a look at the way it's laid out as far as the tables go. Tables are beautiful. What happened to all his sponsorship? I mean, there's a game that has got Racing tables, and the Racing snooker tables been in use in the Champion of Champions tournament that's still running over here this week. You've got the Joy Chinese 8-ball tables. You've got them in the game. You've got that other 8-ball pub table with a sponsor's name on it as well. I mean, the Shooter's Pool don't seem to have problems interesting people in their product. I think it just depends how much you want to invest in it and how much work you want to put into to actually getting people to know about it. And to be honest with you, as far as outside the States go, Celeris haven't really done an awful lot of that because it needs a big budget, and it's never had that. That's why nobody knows about the game. But that's also why a game like Shooter's Pool's struggling as well. Shooter's Pool, I mean, the other night there, I did a little short video. They had 37 in their lobby, and there was only 35 in VP4, but that didn't last long. An hour later when I checked, they had 9 in their lobby, and VP4 still had, 37 or something. 38. So they're struggling to get people in. That's why they've their premium membership, they've cut it. I think they've stopped doing it. I got an email through from them. And that's the other thing as well. I've had regular emails from them, you know, trying to get me to go back there. I don't go back there because I don't like the aim restriction thing that they've got. You know, when you go in and you play a game of pool on that place, you're playing it to somebody else's liking. If they like the aim restriction on, then you have to play it. So you're always playing by somebody else's rules. You're not playing by the actual game rules. You're playing it with a restricted sight and all this crap. And until they get rid of that, I'll never look at it. So, back to the match. My rant is over. Semi-pro leading by 4 racks to 3. Larry on the 3 ball. And he's going to have to play a cute one to get on this 4. Is he going to stun into the 9? That would be the way to do it. Well, he's playing it with inside English. I would be slamming this and stunning into the 9. Well, he's leaning himself a combo. A fairly straight combo. Oh, there's a new name. Who's Javier? Is that a Virtual Pool 4 player? Welcome to the stream. Hola. it's all gone wrong again. And Larry's got himself backed into a corner here in this 6-ball. Yeah, that was all or nothing. Well, the only good thing is the fact that the money ball has gone, or the 5-ball has gone, and this is a very thin cut in the 6. Oh, is that going to get there? Well, it's not going to get there. Well, Larry's got a lifeline here. It could have been all square. And he's got a good angle to run around and get onto the 9. So Larry can breathe a sigh of relief. An offer for what? What we're talking about, guys? I'm missing out. I'm busy watching the game now. I saw something about $15,000 or something. An offer for the game. Oh, I mean, put it this way. There's no anybody would want to anything to do with Virtual Pool 4. Because it doesn't it is a niche market game. It's not like these stupid top-down things that you get on Facebook where thousands play it, where they've got the aiming lines, they're looking down. It's not like that. This is something where you need skill. And that's going to scratch. Well, that's a disaster for semi-pro. Well, I think I think you need to remortgage your house, Simon, and various other things before you'd be in the you'd have a big enough bankroll to have anything to do with Virtual Pool 4. Like I say, there's no way we'd find a publisher for this game now. You know, we've had that. We've had the World Snooker Championship game. We had the World Pool Championship game. They all died a death on the consoles. And he tried to, you know, he released Virtual Pool on the Xbox. That died a death as well. You know, very few people are interested in a game like this because it involves actual skill and learning. It's only the diehards that like this sort of game. That's why we keep coming back to it. But to actually sell this game to a publisher, you're pissing in the wind. So Larry, at 4 racks all, the mistake and the scratch from semi-pro is going to give Larry the lead. And here's another thing. If Steve looked at this video and looked at this match, because, you know, well, I'm complaining at the fact that one player's getting a 5-ball, he's going to look at the result and say, oh, but you know, Larry won the match 7-6, or semi-pro won the match 7-6. It was a close match, blah, blah, bullshit. You know, it doesn't make sense. So Larry's broke off, couple of balls in the break. Well, semi-pro, if you're looking for a response from Larry, you're not going to get anything out of him. He's not going to involve in any conversation. Yeah, aye, but see, that's it. That's the other side of the coin. Sim racing is, you've got guys that are professional sim racers. That's taking it to an entirely different level. These guys are spending thousands in the equipment, their steering wheels and pedals. You know Keith, Bite Me or Buy Time or whatever his postcode name is, the Irish guy. Keith spent 900 quid on his bloody pedals, I think. Because he's into this sim racing stuff. You know, this game doesn't merit that because it doesn't have that amount of interest. You know, if you're interested in pool, most folk are going to a pool hall rather than playing it on a computer. And the other side of the coin with that as well is the fact that, you know, if you want to do driving and race it to a sort of professional standard, but without spending tens of thousands of pounds and actually getting a car and, you know, paying all sorts of amounts of money, then that's the nearest you're ever going to get to on a computer. That Keith B11TME, who used to play a lot of Virtual Pool 3, he's into the sim racing. But as I say, he spent a fortune just getting these pedals, let alone the steering wheel. Well, Larry looks as if, I say looks as if, he's heading for the hill, but he's got work to do still to get out behind this 9. He can drop behind it, but he's more likely to go around the corner and come out. He needs to avoid hitting it though, because then it can go out of line. Yeah, that one, Keith, yes. Well, you see, Larry's didn't go around it. He tried to stun across it, and it's cost him. And he probably didn't want to get around it because the danger was running into the 9. But either way, it's backfired. And Semi-Pro has an easy enough 9 ball to square the match again. And of course, the other thing to mention is, remember that when Steve decided that Virtual Pool 4 was going to be a project, and before that came, you had Virtual Pool 3. Everybody that had a Jeanette Lee disc, you had that. In order for him to be able to have Virtual Pool 4, he had to buy the rights back for it. He had to buy out Interplay to get that, and that cost him a small fortune, he said, whatever legal fees he had to pay. Well, we can see where the problem ball is. That 6 ball. That one there. I don't know whether you can get to it down the rail. It looks pretty tight. But if you can get the angle on the 5 from like there, you can send a cue ball into the 6 and 7. And Larry's extremely close to this 4, so he's going to have to judge the pace. And this cue ball needs to keep running. It needs to keep going to give him that angle. The further up, the better. Well, he might have enough there to work this cue ball. It's going to have to be more of a stun and spin, because the angle's not perfect. Well, he must think he can squeeze this 6 down the rail. Let's have a closer look. Yes, he can. From that end, it looks a lot easier than looking at it from this side. Now, was that clean? I think it was. The age-old problem with this shot, again, is overhitting it and finishing there. He's going to go round the angles. Or is he going to hit it softer and finish here? Something like that. No, he's running. Is he going to get there? He's overdone it. And it needs to keep going now to give him a shot in the middle. Well, I'll tell you the other big problem with this game. Steve's never paid any money to get it translated into other languages and have a user interface that's in all different languages. See, if he'd done that, he'd probably get a bigger turnout of people want to play it. That's one thing he's never done. He's never invested in translating this game. Never done it. Never thought about it or looked into it, and it's cost too much and decided not to do it. It's purely an American game. I mean, the terminology in snooker is scratch. Well, nobody, you know, American terminology in the game of snooker is scratch on the HUD when it comes up. You know, it should just be a foul, not a scratch. Things like that. But the language barrier is the problem for a lot of people. The lobby's not got multiple languages. You know, he's never invested in that. But again, the other side of the coin is Shooters Pool's got at least Spanish, and they might even be bringing out other ones. I mean, you judge a game against other games and how other people do things. Any game you ever buy nowadays, and pretty much all PC games now are downloaded, they've all got different language versions. But they've got big, most of these games all have big money put into them. They've got publishers and everything that is putting money into them, and then they can afford to get the translations and everything done. That's second nature. You know, it's, but here's another thing I was talking about the other week as well. That billiard, billiard.net, that Russian billiard game that I've looked in on from time to time. I've got an account there as well. That game has always been in Russian. It's always been in Russian. It took me ages to work out how to create an account on the site. But, you know, they've got snooker, they've got 9-ball and whatever. But everything was pretty much in Russian. But if you go to the site now, they're in the process of getting it translated into English. It's something they've been doing for months and months and months, because they've still got Russian bits on it. But they're now looking at expanding to welcome the English speakers to it. That game, if you go to that game at any time, and Virtual Pool's get like 40 people in the lobby, I can guarantee you when you go to that Russian game, there'll be about 140 Russians all playing it on a quiet night. And they're playing Russian billiards and everything, which is a bloody hard game. This game can only get 40, and you've got the United States of America with how many 100 million people there, and you can only ever get like 30 and 40 in the lobby. There's something wrong. But that's not just a recent thing. That's the problem that Virtual Pool 3... Virtual Pool 3's problem was even worse, because people would buy the game and couldn't get online with it because they couldn't set it up with their routers and firewalls and all that crap. You don't have that problem nowadays. Most routers and firewalls all handle your games easily. So back to the match. Before I miss out the end of it, Larry's 6-5 up. He's on the 8 and just needs to get himself over to the left-hand side as far as he can. But he's going to leave a high cut if he does. So he's going to have to work it past that top side of the middle pocket. Have to try and work it over there. And that's what's done him. That was always the problem. See, when you... This game looks easy when things work out for you, but when you then leave yourself in a position where you have to work the cue ball more, just like real life, you make the pot that much more difficult. So Larry got himself slightly out of line, and he's left semi-pro with one lifeline, and it's the bank on this 9. This to take it to a final rack. Is he going for the cut, or is he going for the bank? It looks as if he's going for the cut here. Oh, he's played it well. It's a good shot. I think I would have chickened out and went for the bank, because you've then got 2 chances with the bank, but it's going all the way. Semi-pro breaking off in the final rack decider, and it's another one that's come up dry, and Larry's left Chinese snookered over the 9-ball on this one. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's what Larry's explaining. If you're getting a 5 ball, if it says 5 ball in the HUD like it does now, that means that if that 5 ball disappears, that's your money ball, your extra money ball gone. You've then got to get the 6, the 7, the 8 and the 9 to win the rack. If it says, you know, 5 and out, then that's anything from the 5 ball upwards included. That's your extra money balls. So somebody that's sitting in a 1700 handicap would be getting 5 and out in this match. Or 1700 rating, I should say. But when it says an individual ball, 5 ball, 6 ball, 7 ball, 8 ball, it's that ball that you have to pot to win the rack. And that ball alone, including the 9 ball. A delicate little jump, a semi-pro. Well, the more practice he gets at them, the better he'll be. And this 4 ball and 5 ball for the match. So, oh dear. Well, he's played that with loads of inside English. I don't know why. But that's why he's missed the 4. He'd have been better off just leaving the slight cut in the 5. And, well, Larry's somehow got a chance to get to the hot seat. Well, there's 2 ways to play this. You play the chicken shot and you just roll the 7 in and you leave the 8 long for the 9. Or you play it firm and come down here and play the 8 in there. See, Larry's leaning himself these angles. I don't like these angles, and this is what creates problems. The more angle you leave, the less you're looking at the pocket, the more likely things can go wrong. So, one way or another, Larry's got himself into the hot seat. Did we miss a result there? Tommy the Welder against Steve-O on the one loss side. Steve-O's marching on. He's won that match 4 racks to 2. Now let's have a look at the bracket. And we know Larry's through to the final. But semi-pro is going to be playing Steve-O. And semi-pro is going to be giving Steve-O. Now, what the hell does that say there, for goodness sake, man? Is that the 6 ball? I think it says the 6 ball in the one loss side final. So, and well, I know Steve-O isn't a mug, so as long as he takes his time and focuses, he's going to have a chance here. So Steve-O has won the lag. He's getting the 6 ball, and it's only a race to 4. So this is to see who will meet Larry in tonight's final. And the break has come up dry. Push out called. Well, that one cuts. Now the thing is, if Steve-O collides with the 3 and the 4, that'll at least give him a sight on the 2. Well, I don't think he thought he could cut it, but he's played a good safety. And that's got semi-pro pretty tight behind the 2. But he's enough room to get the jump. And he's definitely getting better. I wouldn't be able to jump that. And he's got lucky as well. Now, Steve-O gets a line in this right. Could kick the 1 in, which he has done. And a nice little kiss in the 4. Yeah, that's why I say to people, if you're ever going to join the stream, or you're creating an account with Twitch or YouTube, and you're joining the VP4 stream, you're better off creating it with your own VP4 name. That way I'll recognise you. Oh, that's bad news, that. At the wrong time of year. I suppose it depends, you know, what your job is and what your qualifications are and how easy it'll be to get another one. And of course, what age you are as well, even though they say there isn't anything in age. Oh, for God's sake. One pocket slim. Jesus Christ almighty, man. See, that's why I can never remember. I mean, I don't know how many accounts do you create to actually join YouTube or Twitch? You only need the one. Well, that's gone wrong. And Semi-Pro just looking to tuck the 7 away. We must have at least 4 people watching these streams. I mean, right, do me a favour, guys. Whoever's on Twitch, if you just tab out to your browser and open up YouTube and find 9ball.com on YouTube, see how many's watching that stream and give me a count. I might have double figures here. I'm getting excited. I might have as many as 8 people watching this. Where's my bloody water went to? Well, there it is. Right. So Semi-Pro is just going to finish off. Oh, there's 9 on YouTube. How many is on Twitch? Please find out how many is on Twitch. There'll be a lot less than that. Oh, there's 8 on YouTube. One says 9, the other one says 8. Somebody's already quit. And it says 6. I'm getting false information here, conflicting information. And I forgot to mention at the start of this match, Steve-O, no, I mentioned it on the bracket. Steve was getting a 6 ball. Well, the bad news for Steve-O is that the 6 ball has gone. So he now has to run this table to get himself in level terms. 14. Oh, that's not bad. That's double figures. Now the question is, how many have you subscribed? That's the more important thing. Oh, he's going to the rail. Now, if he just gently rolls the 7 in, well, he's going the other side of the 8, but he needs to keep going. Well, this is not a great angle to... I don't think it's a great angle to draw back good on that 9. Well, that's what's done him. The pace in that 8 ball. As soon as it hits the jaws at that pace, it ain't going in. And that's evidence of that again. So Steve-O has had his chance there, and he's blown it. No, you get my thanks, and that's it. You get what you get in VP4. You get to actually jack shit, as they say. You get nothing. Now Steve was thanking me, I don't know what for, unless he's blaming me as the Jonah the Jinx again. I don't know whether he is. So well, we've got a bit of to-ing and fro-ing going on here. Two balls not in a perfect position. One ball is neither here nor there for semi-pro. It's getting on the next ball. Now, is he going to kick that 2 onto the 9? No, I don't think so. He might try a far-fetched billiard onto the 7 onto the 9. Stranger things have happened. But he could maybe cut that onto there. Oh, he's played the billiard and he's got away with it. That's a good shot. And that's a excellent way to go to the hill. 3-0 up. Has the break. And it looks to be dry again. Well, this is an open table. And Steve-O somehow has to get this one ball and get enough pace in this and avoid the traffic to get down for the 2. And that right-hand English has undone him there. Was not easy to get onto the 2. Well, that's going to be a little gentle combo set up. Well, that's ended up nowhere. That's unlucky. One ball's died on the rail. So Steve-O should be looking at going to the long grass here. Just clip that one ball, get the cue ball up somewhere by the 2 and the 9 ball and try and hide behind the 8. That needs to keep running. And that is not a bad effort. Another couple inches there. That would have been perfect. Nailed behind the 2. Well, he's got the cover. It's not a difficult jump. And Steve-O looks to be lining up to cut that into the middle. Again, needing a bit of luck to get somewhere near this 2 ball without hitting the 8. And I don't think he had his butt high enough for that. Needed to get that higher up. So, ball in hand for semi-pro. And this is going to be a stun past the 8 ball, just to find that gap between the 9 and the 4 and drop onto the 2. Has he gone too far? Let's have a look. It's a bit of a tighter angle than he would like here. He's going to have to punch this in just to get the cue ball onto the 5. And that's a good shot. And I think he's finished a bit straight again as well in this 5. He's got a wee angle. Just going to have to, again, a little punch. Get the cue ball moving. And it's a wee bit short as well. But I think he should be able to miss the 8 ball and just drop over to that right middle pocket. He wants the angle. Can't go dead straight. That'll do. That's pretty good. So he can get the cue ball off the rail and out for the 8. And as straight as he can in the 8 would be ideal. And that's not bad. Now he can run through and come off the end rail and finish on the left hand side of the 9 as we look. It's just about judging the pace. So that's a wee bit square. Still expect him to get this without a problem. So semi-pro, it's going to be a rematch. Semi-pro wins by 4 racks to 0, and he will now have the rematch with Larry in tonight's final, which is a race to 9, and he'll still be getting a 5 ball. Well, that's the one good thing about the tournament starting at 7, provided there's enough people in it. It means that I can get to stream most of it, and tonight we're going to be able to get a lot of it. So Larry and semi-pro in the final. They'll probably already have lagged off, and Larry's won the lag. And the 1 ball threatened to drop, but it's an easy starter for semi-pro. You've got the 1, 2 up in the middle of the table, 3 and the 4 together but out in the open, and the 5 down the rail. But he's going to have to jump, a little delicate jump. How's his luck? Well, it's going to be another little jump. By the way, guys, before I forget, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining the stream. Thanks for your contributions. I don't mean financially, I mean verbally. So the tournament's been on for just over 2.5 hours. That's what, 9:35, and I'm going to get to my bed in reasonable time, I think. Well, that's just a bit close to the rail for comfort. Larry would love to just... Well, I think he can avoid it. He's got enough. Plenty of room just to come off the rail and back out for the 5. Now, he doesn't want to get straight on the 5 if he can. And that will do. He's got the angle, and then he can drop behind the 6. Either take it long or take it into that middle pocket. Ideally, taking into the middle pocket would simplify things for the 7. And I think that's what he's doing. He's left himself fairly straight and should be able to just drop through for the 7. So Larry is going to win the first rack and get one on the board. Oh, they've got a doubles World Championship coming. I never noticed that. I noticed they're talking about a snooker tournament, but I didn't notice it was doubles. But I'll be once you get those Spanish guys to understand that having the restricted view on or off in different rooms depending on what a player likes means that he's forcing the other player into liking his setup or not, and that's the bit I don't like about it. So I think they should drop it, and I'll never be playing it until they do. So sooner or later they'll come round to my way of thinking and ditch that idea. So, semi-pro, awkward cut in the 3-ball. And that's why he missed it. Not easy. Well, that is the biggest problem with that. You know, there's nothing worse than, you know, signing up for a tournament like that and your partner hangs you out to dry and doesn't turn up in the night. Which I think is the biggest drawback with leagues as well. That's probably why leagues have never taken shape of any form in Virtual Pool 4. I think if you set a league up, you know, half the guys would you know, lose 2 or 3 matches and not turn up, especially if you're playing a team thing. I still just, again, I'm making comparison with Virtual Pool 4. It's too high an angle for me. I can't. I'm missing shots I would never miss. I play like a numpty in that game, and I'm not prepared to spend enough time playing it. Simply because there's very few online at the times I'm available. And I'm not prepared to put enough time into it to get any better at it. That's the problem. So, the scratch from Larry, semi-pro, with a gift. And it's 1-1. That's why we shouldn't have that type of handicap in this type of match. Well, that's what we've all got the problem. I mean, I'm in Virtual Pool 4 lobby off and on pretty much every day, and the problem is that, good evening, Mark. Welcome aboard. The problem is I am knackered, absolutely knackered by the time I get home. If I even try and play a game of Virtual Pool, I'm falling asleep in front of the PC. I just don't have time nowadays to actually enjoy the game. I don't get that time at all now. It's either that, you know, or not a roof over my head, one of the two. I prefer to have a roof over my head, to be honest with you. But the hours I'm working, you know, I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to, in the next week or two, I'm going to be up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and starting work at 4. I just do not have the time, and my body is in no condition when I get home to concentrate on playing this sort of game to any sort of level. That was always going to be the case when I ended up doing what I'm doing. And right now, my body's telling me I should be in bed, because I'm trying to get to my bed earlier now to actually make up the hours that I'm losing. Going to my bed at 10:30 and getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, it affects how well you can concentrate at work. So Virtual Pool 4 is pretty much dead and gone for me now. So it is. And setting aside time to actually play it. And now all I've watched, since I formatted the PC a few weeks ago, the only thing I've got in the PC is this game, Shooter's Pool, which I put back on the other day. I've got my Steam installed, obviously. I've got Virtual Pool 4 through Steam. And I've got Euro Truck and American Truck and Kartcraft that came out the other week. That's the only thing I've got. The only good thing about tomorrow is, I mean, I can go to my bed tonight at, you know, say this final finishes after 10 o'clock, which it will do probably. I mean, that's 9:45 at the moment, I think. I can go to my bed tonight after 10, as long as it's before 10:30. I should be okay. And I'll lose that extra 90 minutes sleep because of this tournament. But tomorrow I'm only working till 9:45. I start at 6, so I'm only working to 9:45 tomorrow, and then so I can come home and have a sleep. No, no. I can tell you something straight away about Battlefield. I haven't had Battlefield on a computer for at least 6 years. And the reason I don't have it is because they're all the bloody same. The last one I got was in a white box. That's when it was actually a PC game in a box. Battlefield, whatever it was called, and that was shit. And in fact, it's probably still lying under here, the box for it. But no, shooting games like that don't interest me. They bore me. All this bunny hopping crap that goes on in them, and all these cheats. You know, there was a thing. What was I watching the other day? Was it a video on YouTube? I think it was a video on YouTube, and it was telling you how all these game developers, the game companies, on their actual servers, have caught out all these cheats and what they've done to actually ban them and humiliate them. I watched a video. I'm trying to remember where the bloody video was, but that was funny. I think it was a top 10 list of the greatest cheaters in online games, where they had bots and all that, aim bots and all that crap, and how they were sussed out, and how the actual people that were running the security and the servers booted them out the game and ruined their game or whatever. Somebody must have seen that. But that's what I'm saying, there's too much cheating goes on in any kind of games. Because you don't know who's cheating. I mean, you're standing there firing your gun into a guy and you're doing nothing to him. And then the next thing you know, headshot, dead. And then it's spawn, headshot, dead. Nah. I get bored with that very quickly. That and the fact that I'm shit at these shooting games as well doesn't help. Oh dear. I'm struggling here to keep my eyes open. So Larry has a 3-1 lead. I say the only thing semi-pro needs to do is just keep his focus, because that one mistake. 5 ball wide open in the middle of the table. And Larry's hiding the cue ball. And I think the jump stick might come to the rescue here. I don't know whether... No, Larry. Is he going to have a real swipe at this too? Try and cut it? That looks like an odds-on scratch if he tried that. I think he's trying to thin it. No, he's trying to hide it. He's going to scratch anyway. Well, he was either going to scratch in the corner or scratch in the middle, just playing it plain ball. Just running around the angle, so the chance is there. Remember, 5 ball right in the middle of the table. It's just about joining the dots. It's the old saying I keep saying, if these balls are wide open, then players of this standard are expected to run out. And a little gentle soft draw off the 3 will leave the 4 into the same pocket. Well, plain and simple, you pot the 4 and the cue ball runs across for the 5 into the middle. He's just a wee tiny tad short, but he should be fine. So, this to get one back. And semi-pro breaks off in rack number 6. Remember, the final is a race to 9. And the 9 ball's going in the break. That will get respotted. And also the fact that semi-pro, by the stupid rating system that we have in this game at this level, is getting a 5 ball. And semi-pro trying to clip the 1 has got thin air and given Larry an invitation to show us how to run the rack. Because again, every ball in the open, nothing obstructing anything. Well, Larry's just gone straight on a 2. He's going to have to get this pretty... Well, he's going to now be troubled by the 7. So immediately he's gone out of shape. Right, good night, Mark. You did not too bad. You'll have won a few quid in the tournament, surely. I haven't even looked at the bracket to see, but you must have won something. Oh well, don't spend it all in the one tournament. Because that's all you're going to be spending it on. Unless you want to buy another cue for your collection. This is a cruncher here for Larry. 5 ball had to go in. Well, Larry's making more problems for himself here, cutting into a blind pocket. And again, the cue ball's having to be seriously worked here to get good on this 9. And I think he's got the pace dialed in there. That was a good shot. So Larry opens up the gap to 2 again. Goes to 4-2. And we're into rack number 7. And I think that was the 7 ball that's gone. Yep, 7 has gone, but no shot on the 1. Well, there's a really ambitious shot on here. If he was really ambitious, he could have cut that 1 towards the 3 and maybe billiarded it in off the 3, but Larry's seen sense and decided to play the push. Well, Larry will want to play that push again, because the one thing you don't do is play a push to leave a pot. You might leave a difficult thing as an enticement to your opponent, but you don't leave them 1 to get in. That's pretty much going to be maybe a gift here. Dizzle, did you have a look at the Kartcraft video on my YouTube channel? That was a game I've been waiting on for years. Aye, the kart racing's where it's at. It's, you know, all this bloody Project Cars 2 crap. You want to get into the kart racing, that's the most exciting racing you'll get. Well, in goes the 9. Short and sweet rack there for Larry. Gap goes back to 2. And the 6 and 7's gone. Larry's got a cut in the 1. I think he needs to dig into this if he's going to come the long side of the 2 to leave the pot on. So he's digging in. And he's played that well. And he's got a little angle. He can get the cue ball off the side rail. He can go forward or just stun it. Whatever he's happy with. So he's played the stun. Now, has he got himself good enough to get good on this 4? Well, not really, because he's got the wrong angle. He's either going to have to leave a long, high cut in the 4, or he's going to have to run around the angles here. But you have to go full-blooded for the shot. And he's gone to try and get around the angles. He's actually overhit it. And that was the problem in judging the pace. And the pace that he had to put in it, once again, as soon as it goes to the jaws, it rattles in the jaws. And it ain't going in. But this is a crucial one for semi-pro here. He's going to have to kick the 3 in, which he has done. And he's going to have to keep this 4 safe or play an extremely difficult thin cut in the 4. I mean, what does he do? Oh, that's a great shot. And how's his luck? Well, that was a brave shot in the 4. And that leaves him. Well, this isn't a gimme. And the cue ball is going dangerously close to the middle pocket. It might just hit the jaw. Oh yeah, plenty of room. Plenty of room. So semi-pro gets it back to within 1. And the mistake was made by Larry. Hanging up the 3 ball. No. Is that what it's actually saying on Twitch, that it's American Truck Simulator? I thought I changed that before I started the stream. Aye, you see, Twitch is a load of crap. You've got to get into 2 different menus to get things set right. It must not have saved when I did it, so to hell with it. Who cares? The video won't be there long on Twitch anyway, because they don't store the videos like they do on YouTube. They store them for like 60 days and then they bin them. So Larry at the table. 1 ball goes down. He's going to again having to work this cue ball. A firm stun in the 2 to come out between the 7 and the 5 if he can, to get that 3 ball. And the 3 ball squeezes past the 8. And now he's in no man's land. It's going to be the thin cut into the corner, but watch the cue ball. This is where you just hit and hope. I mean, you're principally played to play the pot, but you could run into traffic here. He's avoided the 9, and if he keeps running, he'll have a shot in the 5 into the middle. That was a good shot. Now this has to be really delicate if he's going to hold the left-hand side of the the 6 ball. He could end up running into the 7. Oh, he's avoided that, but he's tried to check it and hold it up for the 6. Gone a wee bit more than he wants to. Well, this is now a gimme. Just roll the 7, roll the 8 and roll the 9 to open up the gap again. Is Albinario, are you still there? Are you still watching this, or have you gone home? Have you gone to bed? I think he's long gone. He's probably fallen asleep. Now something went into that middle pocket. It was a 1 ball. 1 ball has gone. Alright, Albie, how are these 2 Spanish guys managing to get sponsorship deals done on Shooter's Pool? You know, you've got the Joy company, the Chinese company that make the Chinese 8-ball tables. You've got them. You've got that company that do the little the pub table, the one that they brought out a while back. You've got Racing, the company that make the snooker tables, etc., as well as the pool tables. You've got them involved. How are they managing to get that interest in their game? That's what I'd like to know. Are they just trying a lot harder than Steve ever did? I mean, you know, for example, Steve's not got any branded tables in Virtual Pool 4 at all. You know, you've got like the Aldi's version of tables. You know, looks like a such and such table. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I don't know whether you agree with me, but their tables look pristine. The snooker tables are all well finished. Everything, the room, okay, you can criticise one room to another, but the rooms are pretty good. You know, they're trying to present a nice product. They say it's just sad that not many people play it. Yeah, the other thing with Virtual Pool 4 is it's still DirectX 9. He had this idea. I mean, Steve's idea of making it a DirectX 9 game was so it would work in old, you know, cheaper computers. But I think his idea was that we would have 500 in the lobby playing it, and that's never happened. To me, he should have this game as a 64-bit game. Plus, he should have improvements in the game. But as I say, I don't think he's prepared to invest any more in it. Yeah, those guys seem to be, you know, they seem to be working together to get enough branded interest in their game, and it just makes it that more. It looks more professional, more presentable. I just don't like the way it plays 100%. Well, it plays okay, but I just don't like the restriction thing. But there's certainly there's a good few ideas that Steve could steal from that game. But I think, in all honesty, I don't think he wants to do much more until the money runs out, and then he shuts up shop and retires. So, back to the match. There's still one rack in it. Larry leading by 6 racks to 5. The break is dry, and we've got a proper cluster of balls here stuck in the corner. And I think Larry's dead straight in the one. No, he's got a slight angle. He's just trying to squeeze back to get a sight in the 2, and that's all gone wrong. Now, did any of you guys see the story about... I saw it in the teletext tonight, the text and TV, about the that shooting in California, was it? And the saddest thing you could ever hear about that story, I mean, how many people were killed? 10 people. The saddest thing I've ever heard concerning that story, yeah, well, is the fact that one of the victims was a person that escaped the Vegas killings when that guy was shooting people from the hotel window. The guy survived the Vegas killings only to be killed in that one that happened the other night there. I mean, that is absolutely sick. That, how sick is that? And only in America can that happen. The guy gets killed the other night there when he survived the other shooting. It's bloody, it's crazy. Well, semi-pro. Ball in hand. And he's missed a combo. Well, the reason he went for the combo was because the 4 stuck on the left-hand side there is in no great position to pot. But the 3's gone safe. Larry's tried to billiard off the 3 to spin into the 9. He's missed that. And now Semi-Pro's got a chance to get in behind the 4 when he pots this 3 and take the 4 down that rail. He could also go back up the table, which he has done, to take the 4 and the 7. Now, why he didn't do that in the first place, I don't know. Sometimes you just got to end up taking your medicine and doing it the hard way. He's got the combo. And the 4 ball is still there for the potting. And he should be able to just run through and hold for a decent shot in the 5. Well, he's played the billiard. That's dangerous. He doesn't want to follow it in, but he's got the billiard onto the 9. And we're all square. 6 racks all. And the cue ball goes dangerously close to scratching. It stays in the table. Now, can Larry see the 1? Yes, he can. I thought he's maybe behind the jaw there, or the point of the rail. And look at where the 2 ball is. Let's have a look at what we've got here. Well, he's going to have to play an awkward combo. Unless he tries to play it into the 8 and then in off the 4, that would be ambitious. But if he's trying to play it off the 4 directly, it's never guaranteed. But he's played that well. But he's going to have to play another one. That's ended up nice. That's not a bad combo. Easy enough to make it. Doesn't want the 2 ball to run away though. And that's finished okay. So everything wide open. It should be 7-6. Ideally, we'd want to sit where the 9 spots. Now, let's have a look. Well, you can just drop it in dead weight. He came back, he's okay. Plenty of room. So Larry should be back in front. In goes the 9. And we're into rack number 14. And one ball has dropped in. And more important, Larry has a sight on the 2. Now, he can't avoid hitting the 8, but the 8 might do him a favour and hold him for a shot in the 3. But if that's the case, he's still going to have to work the cue ball to get back up for the 4. So there's a bit of work to do here. And he's hit the 8. Now, can Larry find the gap? Can he somehow find the gap off the 3, somewhere like that, and miss the 5 and the 9? Yeah, he tried to check the cue ball to come through the gap. It didn't work. But he's now going to have to either play just to punch the 4 up the table, or go for the edge of the 4 and play for the cut. And knowing Larry, it's the cut. No, he's played for the punch up the table. Well, there's a surprise. And has he got it? No, he hasn't. The 4 ball just running into the 9. And the gap is perfect for semi-pro. Now, can he hold for that 5 into the middle? I think he can. So it's going to be tied up again. Well, the 9-6 prediction has gone. We're all squares, 7 racks all. Semi-pro breaking off. And it's dry. And 1 ball not really going anywhere, so there's plenty of room to try and hide the cue ball. The difficulty is the way this 1 ball's sitting. Yeah, Larry just trying to hide it. And he's done a pretty fair job on it. So it's 10:15. We'll get another 15 minutes, but there's no way I'm not going to finish the end of this. Now, how's semi-pro's luck? It's pretty good as well. This is going to finish over the pocket. Is it going far enough up? I think it is. Well, the jumper stick's got to come out again. Surely. Can he get to it clean? No, he can't. would you believe it, Larry's overcut it. You'd have thought it would have been impossible to overcut the one, but he's overcut it. Bedhead's still trying to work out what shooter's pool is, Albie. He doesn't know what you're talking about. What about the German guy? The German guy brackets, the guy who I tactically annihilated in the Virtual World Snooker Championships, Dao Hombre. Him that I mentally destroyed. Ask him. I haven't seen him playing the game for a while either, and I haven't seen it. I don't think he ever plays Virtual Pool 4 now. Right, so Semi-Pro has done the business, gets himself back into the lead, but more important, he's on the hill. He leads 8-7, needs one more, but he's come up dry, and Larry's got a shot in the one, and every ball pots. Yep. Oh, has it got, well, who? All he needs to do is change his flag and his bloody profile, and he's Swedish then, doesn't he? How hard can that be? Listen, I could be any nationality you want until I talk. Listen, he wouldn't be the top player if the game was right and I was playing it. I'd still tactically destroy him. These out-and-out potters in these games, they're so gullible. They're very easy to deal with. You only need one tactical genius to sort people like that out. But I think in all honesty, my eyes are seriously gone nowadays. I think age is catching up with us. Well, Semi-Pro on the 5 ball, and if Steve sees that 5 ball to win the tournament, Semi-Pro wins the match 9 racks to 7. And at this point, chaps, I want to say once again, thanks for your company, guys. Thanks for the chat. Thanks for listening to me, even though you don't want to listen to me, because once I get on a rant and I get started, I never stop. And hopefully we'll be back again next week if we get more people signing up, or enough people signing up. If there's only ever 4 or 5 in it, I ain't streaming it. But if there's enough like tonight, then I'll stream it. So I will thank you for your company again, and I will bid you good night, chaps, and we'll see you again soon.